Hello and welcome to another episode of Chasing Green Arrows. We're going to be talking about United's performance today and the player ratings of United. And that's why, as you can see, I am hosting this event because we let Musti give his thoughts out today. Disappointing performance, last minute goal to kind of really take the golden opportunity that you had to go up to third, and that didn't happen. So, what are your thoughts, guys?
You want to go first or you want me to go first?
Go for it.
Absolutely gutted, man. I'm so pissed off. I can't believe we just dropped those points. I was uncomfortable the whole game. I think Southampton played really well. They created some chances, and they scored the first goal. But after that, United did take the lead, and that extra goal needed to come, like that third goal, and they were punished for that. I mean, Southampton, even in the last 10 minutes, Southampton were dominating possession. But then I think that injury to Brandon switched the momentum completely in their favor, and I think that was the main reason for the goal. But the credit to Southampton, they played well. But from a United perspective, absolutely gutted. This was a golden opportunity to go into the top four.
Absolutely, I think I can hear the disappointment in your
karma from yesterday, bro. We messed around with Arsenal, and I think today we're facing the music now. But
it's not as bad as it is for me, man. Trust me, it's still better. Anyway, you want to add any thoughts there, Zo?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, just very disappointed. It was the perfect sort of game for us to slip up. It was a perfect banana peel fixture. Southampton's been on a good run of form, beat City, playing with confidence, playing with a lot of energy and vigor. They came with that same mentality today that, we are going to put up a great fight and go for the 3 points. It wasn't a survival sort of game on their part. United looked slow, looked fatigued. A lot of our players were a step off. The first touches were heavy. And I think that Southampton was able to capitalize on that, and they outworked us for good portions of the game, especially in the beginning when they scored first. We were lucky and we played well to come back and score those 2 goals. But like Musti said, definitely needed a third goal to kill off the game and really create that separation. And unfortunately, when you don't get that goal, when you don't kill off the game, it's football. Anything can happen. Everything did happen for us to go down to 10 men, unfortunately, with consecutive injuries to our left backs. And then, Southampton just kept fighting for it throughout the whole game. And, it's a fair result for them. They deserve something out of this game. I would have loved for us to take the 3 points. It is points dropped for us. We missed out on a golden opportunity going to the top 4. But all credit to Southampton. They played a great game and they deserved the point that they walked away with.
Yeah, I think fatigue did play an important role. I think all is not lost yet, guys. You can cheer up a little bit. Let's get on to the So let's get right to it. Yeah, David De Gea.
So I have De Gea down as a 7 today. I thought he played well. Didn't have that much to do. He made a beautiful save. I forget who it was that took the shot, but it was just a stunning sort of. Oh, it was Redmond, and it was just a really good save. Just classic De Gea. Just palm up, diving across. Great positioning, great anticipation. For the 2 goals that we conceded, honestly, there wasn't much that could have been done for it. I don't think he had a role to play in that. So yeah, I think a 7's fair for him today.
Yeah, Musti?
He pulled out that brilliant save, like Zoya said. But I would give him a 6. Still, the 2 goals weren't his fault. But I still feel if you draw 2-2 at home, you can't give a keeper that high of a score. So and it's not like he pulled off so many. It was just 1 or 2 saves. So I'd probably go with a 6 for him.
Wow, really sour there, but
you have to be critical, right?
It's a 6.5 in the middle of the both of you, right? Okay. Let's go to our wingbacks. Wan-Bissaka.
So I thought Wan-Bissaka defensively was all right, but offensively, honestly, looked a step slow. A lot of misplaced passes. You're going to hear this from me a lot about the team. Really it's about, giving the ball away and really, creating a situation where you're immediately being threatened, especially by a team like Southampton that had their counter-attacking strategy figured out. I think that, he didn't make any major mistakes, but he could have closed out better on Redmond, and I just feel that it wasn't the case. I'd give him a 6 today.
Musti?
He looked exhausted today, Wan-Bissaka. He was just didn't have that energy. It wasn't his stuff. I think he'll need a rest in the next game. And I'd give him a 5 for this. Like, not much. To concede 2 goals, it wasn't his fault, but yeah, I think it was a very tired performance from Wan-Bissaka.
Yeah, I'm gonna put him down as a 5.5 again in the middle of the two of you.
Yeah.
Moving on to Luke Shaw.
I think Luke was unlucky, man. Luke played great. I think Luke was probably the brightest spot in our back line. Made a lot of great runs going forward, getting into good positions. There was that one ball that he played for Rashford, which unfortunately was offside. The Rashford scored from it. I think we're beginning to really see his talent shine. He's had a rough start to the season, but he's made that left back position his own. Again, unfortunate to get injured. Like, loved his dedication to keep playing. Let me try to walk it off. Again, unfortunate that we did, concede 2 goals, but one of them was after he was taken off. I'd give him a 7 today based on his contributions to the attacking end.
Yeah, I'd probably go with a 7 as well. Like, I've been harsh on all the other players, so I think he did create a bit, like, especially in the attacking side of things. And he got injured, like, he twisted that ankle. That was very unlucky. I think if he stayed on, it would have been good. I don't think United would have conceded. Not to say that even if Brandon was there, I don't think we would have conceded. But yeah, I think it's a 7 performance for me.
So we'll give him a 7. Moving on to the defenders, Lindelof, the central defenders.
So I think that Lindelof was probably the better out of our 2 center backs today. He did lose. He did lose the Southampton player for the second goal. But overall, like, there was a lot of good clearances, a lot of good defending on his part. Again, it's he does a lot of the little things right, but you can definitely see the need for a little bit more quality in that center back role, especially to cover for Harry, who I thought was poor today. I'd give Lindelof a 6.
Okay, Musti?
Yeah, I'd give him a 6 as well for his performance today. Like, I think he looked a bit uncomfortable, especially in the first goal as well. Like, that wasn't his fault, but he looked a bit uncomfortable. But apart from that, he was pretty solid. Again, the second goal couldn't do much, but he could have, but can't really blame him for that. So yeah, I think 6, like, just above average performance for Lindelof.
Put him down as 6, and then let's go on to Maguire.
I thought Maguire was probably the poorest out of our center backs today, out of our back line. I expect more from him. He is the leader of that back line. He's the senior most sort of player there. And unfortunately, I didn't get that from him today. Okay, the whole team was slow. Everybody was sluggish. And so was Maguire. Wasn't commanding in terms of positioning. And definitely his lack of pace showed. He got beaten a few times. And it really does highlight the fact that we need someone faster to partner up with him, a left-footed center back, to help sort of create a safety net for these sorts of errors. But unfortunately, we don't have that right now, and he did get beaten. For me, like I said, it was a poor game on his part. Some good efforts later on, but it doesn't make up for the fact for the transgressions of earlier. I have him at a 5. It might be harsh, but it's a 5 for me.
Musti?
Yeah, I'd go with 5 as well. Again, pace is the biggest issue with Maguire. I feel he needs somebody, like Zoe said, who can help him tidy up at the back. Yeah, conceding 2 goals again, he could have been more vocal as well. I feel like he wasn't as commanding today. Normally you see him leading the team, being very loud and stuff, but today maybe it's just fatigue once again. But yeah, I think it wasn't a great performance, so I'd go average 5.
Okay, put him down as a 5. Moving on to the midfielders, Matic.
Yeah, I'm a bit scared for Matic because he's had a crazy run, but Mourinho ran him down to the ground when he was manager, and I feel I don't want that to happen again because he's playing every game nonstop right now. He's a great player, but again, he needs to be rested properly. He's a bit fragile, I would say. I wouldn't play him every game, and again, I think it was an average performance, a 5 for Matic, but I would put that down to more of he needs to be rested and rotated properly. And again, that comes down we don't have the depth in the squad. But yeah, I feel it wasn't a good performance from Matic. But I'm more scared about him breaking down. But yeah, 5 for Matic.
So?
Yeah, Matic was poor today. I found him again. He looked tired. He looked fatigued. He looked slow. And especially when playing a team like Southampton that came with so much energy. They were able to outwork him. They were able to push him off the ball. They were able to, harry him off the ball. He looked very uncomfortable. It wasn't the same sort of composed player that we've seen over the past couple of games over the run. It's unfortunate because it really is against his sort of form as of late. But it was a weaker performance from him today. I'd give him a 5.5, but it definitely looks like he needs a bit of a rest.
Yeah, I think 5.5 is fair for him. I'm just going to put him down as a 5.5. Moving on, Pogba.
Pogba, man, was poor. Like, I mean, the Rashford goal, he played a big role in it. It was a great pass to Martial, but he was poor, man. He was the one who led. That was a clumsy mistake for the first goal, put the pressure on the defense unnecessarily, and conceded the goal. And then he wasn't as creative today. I mean, again, they got him off early, maybe because like they don't want him to get injured again. But like, yeah, he was very poor. I would give him a 4 for his performance today. I know it's very harsh, but like, I think apart from like that glimpse, that pass, he didn't do much today. Expected more from him. Yeah.
I was pretty disappointed about Pogba today. He kind of showed those qualities those negative qualities that have been, criticized and questioned over the past couple of seasons. He can, dally on the ball sometimes, takes a little bit too long. I get it, it's part of the way he plays. He looks very calm in possession, so it could just be that. But today he looked slow and, wasn't really as aware as he could have been in terms of where the Southampton players were. He got the ball taken off him a few times, lost it a few times. The ball to Martial was great. You have to give him credit for that. But a player of that caliber, you're expecting more, and you're expecting it consistently throughout the game. I had him at a 5 today.
Okay, we'll round it out to a 4.5 for him. Moving on, the player of United lately, Bruno
Fernandes. I think today was his worst game, and he still got an assist, if I'm not wrong, which shows like he's world class. But yeah, today was his worst game. He lost the ball quite a bit. Didn't create as many chances. But I won't be too worried. Again, it's just the heavy workload he has right now. A lot of fixtures. They're playing 2-3 games a week, so it's not easy on him. And I'm not too worried. But yeah, today's performance wasn't great. I think average 5. Just for a point extra for the assist, I guess. Yeah.
Okay. So.
Yeah, unfortunately, it was, in my opinion as well, it was Bruno's worst game of the season so far. He's been pretty much fantastic and phenomenal for us. He's been playing at a very, very high level, and he's been playing consistently. Hasn't taken any, games off as such. I think that's a contributing factor. That fatigue that we've been talking about, it really showed, and it showed because that vision that we've come to expect from him wasn't there, and that passing ability wasn't there. And those are the first things that go. Your legs go, right? You're not able to, even if I see, the right play to make, I'm not able to make it because that ball is just lacking a little bit of fizz, a little bit of strength to get it to the player, or lacking a little bit of deftness, a little bit of sort of, accuracy. And those are the little things that you begin to lose out on when you're getting tired. Again, it was a good assist for him, so I'm glad he got that assist for Martial's goal. But overall, quite a bit of a drop from the lofty standards. I'd give him a 5.5.
Okay, so we'll just pull him off to a 5.5. I know Musti's relatively harsh on the players today, so I'm just gonna.
I mean, because of the weight of the game, we were so much counting on this game. I mean, it is disappointing.
Totally understandable, but I'm just being a little bit more lenient than you are. All right, moving on to the attackers, Rashford.
Yeah, I think Rashford had a good game. Finally, like a goal from open play. But again, he missed a very crucial chance. I think he should have put that away in the second half, and that would have put the game to bed for sure. But he played well. He made movement down the left flank, created some good opportunities, and that goal with Martial linked up really well. I would probably go a 7. Like I might be a bit harsh. You could give him an 8, but because they didn't win, I would give him a 7. But it was a good performance, I think.
Right. Okay.
So for me, I liked a lot of Rashford's game today. It was great to see him score from open play, And again, that link-up play with Martial is such a beautiful thing to see. It bodes really well for us. In terms of, could he have done more? Absolutely. I still think he's not firing on all cylinders. He's still not at 100%. But again, a lot of good stuff. That shot against McCarthy, it was a matter of, such fine margins. I think if he was, clicking on all fronts, he would have scored that, but you can't take away from McCarthy making a crazy save. I'll give Rashford a 7.5.
I think, I think we can go with the 7.5 as well for him. Moving on, Greenwood.
I think Greenwood. He's just a kid, right? Today was he couldn't really see him. Didn't perform to like the expectations we had him of the previous games. But I think, didn't do much with the ball. I would give him a solid 5. Wasn't threatening from that flank. But he's young. He's going to learn. Like I don't want to be too harsh on him. I don't want to criticize him too much. But that's why I think. But this proves the point that we need somebody like Sancho, because you can't expect Greenwood to show up every single game. He's still going to learn, right? He's only 18. So today we didn't have much of the ball. He didn't do much with the ball as well. So I think an average 5 for me.
Okay, so
I'm going to be a little bit more lenient with Greenwood. Same criticism or same issue that a lot of the players are facing this game. Looked a little bit off the pace. And, at the same time, wasn't really getting the service from midfield. If you think about it, Bruno having a bad game, Pogba having a bad game, the front line wasn't necessarily getting the service that they have been getting over the past couple of games. And I think that Mason really suffered from that. Southampton had a good game plan in how to contain him. And I think they succeeded to a fair extent.
They were double teaming him at one point at the beginning of the game. Yeah,
exactly. They had two defenders on him to cover, whether he goes left or right. And I think that's a testament to how good he is, that you have to put 2 defenders, you have to double team him to effectively cover him. Again, he's young. He's only 18. It's these sorts of things are going to happen. You can't be too harsh on him. That's why I'm going to give him a 6.
All right, we will round him off to a 5.5 in the middle of both your predictions and both your points. And finally, moving on to Martial.
Martial was the player of the game for me. I think he performed really well. Nice assist and a goal as well. And he could have scored a crazy goal. There was an insane run in the second half, but he just couldn't connect. But I think he played really well. He was the player of the match. I'd probably go with probably an 8 for Martial. Yeah, I think he was the best player. And you could say he could be more clinical here and there, but I think today he was on point. And he's just unlucky with that. The other one, it could have been another goal easily, but it wasn't as like Rashford's chance was much more easier for me. I think Rashford should have put that away. So that's why I was more critical on Rashford. But I think for Martial, it was an 8 on 10 performance.
Okay, So
I'm a big Tony fan, have been for a while. So I feel like I'm finally beginning to get that vindication, that validation that, I haven't been backing the wrong horse for all this time. It's really nice to see him growing into more of a number 9. You see him with his hold-up play. The assist to Rashford was beautiful in how he was able to get the ball to him, even though he was under pressure, falling over off balance. His finishing for the second goal was fantastic. Great shot. Classic Tony, just put it on his right foot and he'll whip it in. And then, a lot of good plays. He made a lot of good plays to Rashford, a lot of good passes. He was very, aggressive, attacking, incisive, and very unfortunate that we didn't score more goals either for him personally or off some of the plays that he had made. That run that he made in the second half, just shimmying through the Southampton defense, was beautiful. A little bit of good fortune there, but still got to give him credit for that. I'd give him an 8.5 today.
Okay, so I'm gonna since he was most seasoned player of the match too, I will give him an 8.5 as well. I think he was pretty good all game. So I think that wraps up the players. Just the final question, right? Before we go off, who was your Southampton player of the game?
For me, I think that Nathan Redmond was very good. I think he was very threatening throughout. I think we had trouble containing him. He had a great assist for Stuart Armstrong for the first one, and just apart from that, was constantly breaking through our back line, a lot of intelligent movement, and I thought that we should have done a better job of containing him, and we struggled against him.
Yeah. Musti?
This is out of the box, but it's open for me, man. He scored the goal which broke. Yeah, it was a really good substitution, great substitution from the manager, and he didn't play much, but I think that goal just it got them to the point, right? If he didn't come on, they probably wouldn't have got the goal. So I would go for him. It was a very short cameo, but really effective. I don't think anyone would agree. I wouldn't agree myself on most days, but I think if you look at it from the other side, it was him who got the point. So
Yep.
I'm going for him.
I mean, I think that's a fair point over there. Just I think of just closing thoughts on my end, and I'll just ask you guys closing thoughts as well. But I think if you guys get a good rest, just come back all guns blazing like you have been over the past few game weeks. Take a break, win the next 3 games. You still have the Champions League up for grabs. The only problem, the only sideline to this is United. The city's ban has been overturned, so you will meet fourth. So you will have to beat Leicester in the final game. I think that will be the decider. But any closing thoughts on you guys' end? Musti, you want to go first?
Yeah, I mean, with United, the thing what I'm more concerned about is their own performances because of the squad depth, right? Like, you need to rotate players. Like today, I don't think 2-3 players, at least one of Pogba and Fernandes should have been rested today for sure, and maybe someone like a Luke Shaw should have been rested as well. But because they don't have that squad depth, Ole had to put this 11, and that's what I'm concerned about. Even against Crystal Palace, like I'm not that confident going into the game. It's away from home. Again, there could be a mess up like this. Like you never know if it's like the red hot United, yeah, they can win the game easily, but you never know what's going to happen. So that's what I'm more concerned about. I feel that Chelsea and Leicester have tough games as well. I don't see them winning every game. I could be wrong, but I'm just giving you my thoughts like as of now, because they've been hot and cold as well. Like they've lost more games than us. We haven't lost like since the lockdown. So I'm not worried about that. I'm more worried about, I think, how United's going to play and their performance. Because we saw again today how the squad rotation is a key factor in this heavy fixture list.
Right. Yeah. Zo, any thoughts to add?
Yeah, I mean, I think that this was, it's unfortunate that we drew over here, but I think it was a good draw. The reason I say that is a good draw is because it's like a wake-up call, right? We've been on a very good streak, but there have been
such a bad way to get the wake-up call, like last second. But yeah, I know.
Unfortunately, but it's like, I really hope that Ole is able to use it as a learning moment, and really, because it's like if you think about it, the cracks were beginning to show against Bournemouth, right? Conceding those 2 goals, and then we conceded again today first. So I think it's good to sort of have that wake-up call that, hey, you know what, you can't take anyone easy, you can't take any games off. And also, in order to highlight some of the other issues in the squad, you mentioned squad depth, the lack of rotation. These are things that, it'll be good for Ole to think about. It'll be good for the players to think about. And really, I think it'll allow us to, the dressing room talk should be that, hey, you know what? Okay, we dropped the points over here. We have no margin for error. Let's learn from this. And let's really, as Abrar was saying, go out guns blazing. And, we have to win every single game from here on. And I think that's what they're going to do. They're going to really, really push hard. And, I really hope that they use this draw as a teaching moment and kick on from there.
Yeah, I was hoping the Leicester game to be to wrap up seal the top 4 before the Leicester game, because potentially that's going to be the toughest game after the lockdown. So, but now it looks like they'll have to win every single game. So they'll need to be on top of that.
Yep.
For sure. And just a last point is just, again, it just highlights the fact that, we do need to make signings. It's always, when a team's on a good run, it's always sort of easy to say that, hey, you know what, it looks like we're good. It looks like we don't necessarily need to go pick up as many players as we thought. But then you realize that, it is a small sample size, and it takes just, a couple of plays not going your way and not having the necessary depth to be able to bring on quality from the bench, to be able to rotate with quality players. And you end up in the situation where you end up with a fatigued team, you end up with a team that's a little bit off the pace, and you end up with a team that's more susceptible to injuries.
Yep, I think so. But at least everything to play for, and a couple of exciting weeks coming up for the last 3 games.
Come on, United.
It is going to be fun. So looking forward to how this ends, and good luck to you guys, because I'm not in the picture. So,
but the FA Cup is still on, so you'll be excited, looking forward to that. So you have something.
I think the only thing that I'm looking forward to right now.
But the only issue with that is Man City's on the other end. But that's the only issue. small kind of problem. But what can you do?
Hopefully we meet each other in the finals. That'd be fun podcast to do eventually.
I'd be looking forward to that.
But yeah, anyway.
I'll take the congratulations at that point from you happily.
We'll get to it when we get there. But anyway, I think we've covered everything for today. I think thanks guys for your time, and see you next week.
Thank you.
Nice to see you, man. Take care.